Thank you for allowing me to see myself the way you see me. Thank you.
Good morning and welcome to my kitchen. Today I have something that's a little, well, it's good for all seasons in my opinion, whether it's winter or summer. It is lentil stew. Now, as per usual, I've already listed the ingredients beforehand. So let's move on. So the first thing that we have to do is chop up our carrots and our potatoes and also our onions and our mushrooms. Now the first thing that we have to do, the next step after food preparation, is we are gonna put these chopped onions into the frying pan where I have just a teaspoon of olive oil. I don't like to use too much oil. This is just enough so that I can saute the onions and start to bring out the flavor and the texture of the carrots, the potato, and the mushrooms. Yeah, so here we go. Woo! Nice and hot. Stir it up, stir it up. We're going to add our everyday seasoning, just a little teaspoonful. Stir it up, stir it up. Teaspoon of paprika and a teaspoon of garlic powder. Keep stirring so we don't burn the onions. And now we're going to add the mushrooms into the pot, frying pan. Woo. And then we're going to add the potatoes and the carrots. And we're going to stir that up. We are also going to add a half a cup of water at this stage. Just a minute. That will help the carrots and the potatoes to kind of soften up a little bit. So that's the first part, so let's move on. So, we've stirred up our vegetables in the frying pan. We're going to use a vegetable stock cube. I'm going to use half of that to put into my frying pan, and then the other half I'm going to put into my pot of boiling water that we're going to make the soup into later. Right, the other thing is, last night I put my lentils into some water into my slow cooker, and I, with a little bit of water, just about covering the lentils overnight so that they're nice and soft now. So the next thing we have to do is we are going to turn that off. We're going to turn off the fire, and then we're going to add this into our pot. That has a really nice smell. Right. Stir that up, stir that up. Then we're gonna add in our lentils. Make sure that all gets in there. Stir that up. And then we're gonna add our chopped tomatoes. I use a whole can. That gives it its nice rich color. We're gonna stir that up in the pot. And then we're gonna leave that to cook. Leave that to boil for about 10 or 20 minutes until everything is nicely tender and succulent. So I'll come back in 20 minutes and I'll show you the finished product. So let's move on. Right, so we finished boiling the stew, the lentil stew. One thing to note is I added pearl barley in about 10 minutes into it boiling. What you must do is stir it ever so often, because the pearl barley can get a little, it can stick to the bottom, so it's best to just stir it up a little bit ever so often while it's cooking. Right, so now is for the results. Right, let's dish it up. You can serve your stew with garlic bread or a salad. It's totally your choice. So I'm just going to taste that now. The smell is really good. Very good. So, as always, thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Stay beautiful,
See myself
and
the way
God
you
bless
see
you.
me. Thank you.